Welcome to Swift Studios. So last time we discussed about stage, which was from here to here. So last time we discussed about stage, which was from here to here, and now we will discuss about timeline and output, which is from here to here. So let's start. So the first thing you can see is timeline. So you can understand timeline as a book, and these are layers. You can understand these layers as a chapter, and these are frames. You can understand these frames as a pages of the book or pages of the chapters. So let's start. Now timeline is a book, and there is nothing more than that. In layer we can add layers, like adding chapters by clicking in here. So these are like different chapters of a book called timeline. So you can also delete layers by clicking here, and you can put layers inside folder by creating a folder and moving like this. So these two layers are inside this folder and this one is outside. So I can pull this by clicking here and moving up, and now these are outside the folder. You can also delete folder by clicking in folder and clicking in this delete. Now let's delete this layer. Now let's talk about frames. Frames are the pages of the book or pages of the chapters. So in here you can see 24 FPS 24.00. If you don't see this, click once in stage and you will see this. So FPS 24, this means 24 frames per second in 1 second. This means that in 1 second this will play from here to here. So this will play from this frame to this frame, which is 24, and this is one is 25. For example, I'll create a circle in first frame and create a classic twin, and in frame 24 I'll insert keyframe, insert keyframe, and move this circle from here to here. And when I click on display, the circle will move from here to here in 1 second. This means that circle takes 1 second to move from frame 1 to frame 24. If we change this to some value called 50, this will go 50 frames per second, means this will play from 1 to 50 in 1 second. So let's remove this. Now you can see these things: eye, lock, and so all layers outlines. So what this does, let's see. If I made a circle in this frame, this frame will go black dot. This means that something is present in this frame. If I click on this eye, you cannot see this circle anymore, but it is still present in this frame. So you can click on this eye to make it visible again. If I put a lock in this frame, then I cannot draw anything more in this frame. And if I click on here, it will only show the outline of the circle. So this is how all it works. Now let's talk about these things in here. So this is a camera tool. So I already explained about camera tool. You can choose to minimize our symbols or animations by this tool and click play. So this one is complicated tool, and you can see here this play button. So if I have multiple frames, frame 1 to frame 5, so this one is the play buttons of a video player, just like a video player. So when I click in this play button, the animation will play from frame 1 to frame 5. So this is how it works, and this one is for the first frame and this one is for the last frame. At the first frame is always 1 and our last frame is 5 at the moment. So this one is for previous frame, which is frame 4. So you can do it like one frame ahead. You can move by clicking here, and if you want to go 1 frame by forward, you can click on here. And now you can see these things are called onion skin. It shows the previous position of a circle. So one frame ahead this circle was here, and before it was here, it was here. So this shows how the onion skin works. If we move this, you can set this according to the number of frame you want to see these positions. Similarly with this and these frames. So we will be using these frames too oftenly. Let's change the frames per second back to 24, which is default. And I think this is pretty much about the timeline, layers and frames. If you want to remove this, right click and go to remove frames, and if you want to create a new frame, create insert blank keyframe. You can also do this by insert keyframe and doing insert blank keyframe. So what's the difference between them is that if I create a circle in here and I do insert keyframe, this will copy the circle in the same frame in the same place, but when I do insert blank keyframe, the circle will not be copied. Now let's talk about animation. Animation was made on a paper. Animation was made on a paper. In a single paper, one picture was made, and in another paper, same picture was made but little bit differently. And when a collection of paper was turned, the characters inside the paper was seen as it was moving. So that's how this animation works. In old days, animation was made in paper, but in modern days we can make animation by using these kinds of software, and we can use this frame as a paper. And one thing is, how would you want to create a new book, because we have only one timeline? So the answer to this is you create a scene. Go to control and go to Windows and go to scene and create a new scene by clicking here. So if you want to jump from scene, you can go to scene 1 and scene 2 from here, and scene 1 has different timelines and scene 2 has different timeline. So scene 1 and scene 2 are like different books. And let's talk about output. Output is a code. So output is the result of code. So where do we insert code? We insert code in timeline if we're using ActionScript 3. So let's insert a code and test our code in output. So right click and go to action, and this is our actions, and here we can put our code. So I'll show you again. Right click and click to action. Now I'll type a simple code, trace, and I'll give a bracket, and inside bracket I'll give hello world, and I'll give a semicolon at the end, and I'll run this by clicking control and test. So this is running, and you can see hello world is printed in here. So this is how the output works. This was for this video, and hope to see you again in next videos.